How are you getting on, folks? Look at today. You may as well write it off. It just didn't go our way there today. We were very unlucky with a few of these. Obviously, look, power over me was very unlucky not to just get his head in front. He was coming and coming, and he just couldn't get there. Renju at an each way price. It looked like it was going to at least finish in the top two, but look at it just got boxed in or squeezed for a bit of room, and it lost plenty of momentum in the home straight. Give me a copper just jumped very, very badly. Uh, Clattered into about four or five of them fences. It took the wind straight out of him, and as well as that, the ground it certainly didn't help either. And Ross Ryan was very unlucky with at Ebe at 5-1. It just, I suppose, it just couldn't get going a little bit earlier. I thought maybe the turn around the bend, the room might open up there in the inside rail, but it just didn't, and it just, I suppose, caused a bit of a hindrance there to Ross Ryan there today. But moving on now, tomorrow in Naas, commonly known as the bookies' graveyard, or the punters' graveyard. But for us anyway, it's definitely been a playground situation for us anyway. We've generally come out of Naas fairly happy more often than not every time. I'm certainly liking my chances tomorrow. I think I have a great chance of turning a bit of profit, providing now the racing does go ahead. Like the racing there today with Fairy House, it's in doubt. Um, there's rain and there's even snow promised, so I don't really know whether it is going to go ahead or not. I hope it is, but look, it's just so hard to know. It's realistically it's up in the clouds as well as everything else. But going on to tomorrow, it certainly looks to be a very, very nice day. The first race of the 12:45 is going to be Ryan's patron pick of the day, so that's going to be missed out for us. 1:15 though, Bacchus at 13-8 for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend certainly looks to be the one to be on. It's receiving £7 from Beacon Edge, who is rated £6 better than him. So realistically, he is getting a pound in hand basically. As well as that, his race fitness ahead of Beacon Edge, obviously with Beacon Edge missing out the Christmas due to colic. It's certainly plain it's basically hidden in plain sight that Bacchusson is well treated here. All coming up to this particular race, I don't really know how Beacon Edge is going to take being back from a spell with colic. Um, I can't imagine him being good enough to match Bacchusson here, though. The fact that Bacchusson is in tremendous form of late and really notching up a string of victories is just second to none. I think 13-8 is a great price, and it should be availed of. 145 then, this is actually going to be Dean's patron pick of the day, so we're going to be missing that one out as well. But the 215 is going to be my nap of the day. It's going to be Mr. Incredible at 2-1 here for Henry de Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore. Realistically, it's certainly there, as well as Bacchusson there. It's hidden in plain sight. It was second to Gillard de Menil in Punchestown over Christmas, who was, I suppose, it was 9 lengths behind Gillard de Menil, and a further 10 lengths back then was Maze Runner, I think the name of the horse is. It was a winner in Clonmel last time out. It was a fairly bloodless winner in Clonmel last time out as well. So that's obviously a big plus. This Mr. Incredible is coming up against Glens of Antrim here for Willie Mullins and Mark Walsh, I think. Yeah, Mark Walsh is on board for JP McManus. Look at that form definitely does stand out as well. Coming second to Statler, but for me, I just think that the bookies have the markets mixed up a little bit. Um, when you think about it this way, this Mr. Incredible was 10 lengths ahead of this bloodless winner in Clonmel there recently. I think it was last week or the week before. Um, while I suppose Glens of Antrim was well clear of Fantasio or Fangio de Vassi for Henry de Bramhead, who has since, I suppose, blew up in Gorham Park when well fancied. But then again, you can make a case for the ground as well. It was like a bog that day in Gorham Park, but when you think about it all together, realistically, it is there in plain sight. Mr. Incredible is, I suppose, getting a better pull at the weights and with more potential improvement to come. I certainly think that it's got a great chance, and it should be plenty available there at a price of 2 to 1. 245 then. This is going from Patreon to YouTube every go now. 245 is my Patreon pick of the day, so we're not going to be covering that. But the 315, I particularly like a Clad the Rear for the same connections as the race previous. Henry the Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore. Realistically, when you think about it, Pencil Full of Lead is the farm choice, but just the fact that Pencil Full of Lead blew up a couple of times around Naas there before, in particular behind Asterion Forlange, who has since not really. I suppose, look at it, Asterion Forlange is a very good horse in its own right, but just hasn't backed up the form, and realistically a good horse would be able to take advantage of Asterion Forlange. I think this Clad the Rear is definitely the bee's knees. I think 5 to 2 is a great price. Overall, when you think of all things considered, the win in Thurles last time out, it was pitch perfect over the jumps. It never put a foot wrong. Travelled very nicely, won fairly hard held. Realistically, I would be expecting a decent run in here, and I think 6 to 4 for Pencil Full of Lead is short enough to be back, and I think it's certainly well within your rights to be looking elsewhere, and I think Clatter is the next best option in my personal opinion. Obviously, look at Viscaria 10 then as well for um oh, I can't think of the names now. I think it's Gordon Elliott and Jack Kennedy that's on board. But that was a bloodless winner last time out as well. But I don't know. I just think that this Iscaria 10 is a little bit. It needs to find a little bit more to beat Itlad the Rear tomorrow. I just think it's Itlad the Rear's race to lose. Try saying that after having a few pints. 345. First each way selection of the day. Lanarige for Oliver McKiernan and Barry Brown, if I'm not mistaken, currently priced in around 6 to 1. This one here certainly comes in the back of a very good run. I think it was second last couple of times, which the form has since been backed up. Realistically, the race in here is very hot when you think about it. The likes of Fag and Bialak there at 8 to 1 is a very nice price. I think there's a few more in here now that sort of catch my eye that I can't remember off the top of my head. But just the fact that I suppose this horse has finished second the last two occasions, and I think the form has been backed up since. It certainly got plenty of ticks to the boxes anyway, and I certainly think that 6 to 1 is a good enough each way price now for backing in around the places. I think Bet365 are paying 4 places tomorrow, so realistically you're looking at a fairly open enough contest, but at a fairly solid 6 to 1 each way price. 415 then. My next best of the day, you can't look past Billaway. He won the race last year. He beat Alone Among Millions and Wing Leader as well in not Fairy House, Punchestown, if I'm not mistaken. Or actually no, he beat them in Down Royal. The day Chris's Dream was second to, who was he second to? Oh, the Storyteller. But when you think about it all, like realistically, this horse is going straight to Cheltenham. Patrick Mullins is on board. He knows the horse well enough. When you think of it all, things considered, you would be expecting Billaway to win at a fairly bloodless fashion. I would be afraid of Alone Among Millions. I think that horse for Sam Curling, he is a decent sort, and he is going to be a big danger should he go to Cheltenham. But I just can't look past Billaway. I think he's the bee's knees in this particular contest, and I think 5 to 4 is a great price. Look at. That's all I really have anyway for Naas tomorrow. Whether it goes ahead or not, I don't know. If it doesn't, I probably won't be backing anything really substantially anyway. But if you're enjoying the content and you haven't already subscribed, please make sure to keep doing so. We're after getting an absolute plethora of subscribers there now in the recent couple of days after the good run of form that we've been on. I want to say thanks very much to those who have recently subscribed as well. For those who might want to join Patreon now in the next month, I'll leave a link in the description below as well. It's a tenner a month. You get entered into monthly draws, different things like that, as well as daily tips from the three of us. Um, but you'll be added into the WhatsApp group as well, which is great banter and great old crack as well. We're all the time having a great old time of it on WhatsApp as well. But I leave a link in the description for Patreon below. Like I said, a tenner a month, you can't really go wrong with the things we're doing. For example, there the monthly giveaway, we give away a free share in a horse for a year. For a tenner a month, you can't really ask for much better than that. But I'm going to leave it there. Thanks again. If you're what you call it, if you're new to the channel, welcome on board. Thanks again for your continued support. If you're going to be having a bet tomorrow, the very best of luck. And please make sure to keep liking and sharing and subscribing. Thanks very much, and the best of luck tomorrow.